So, Ragiroth do.
Ragiroth Enterprises.
How's it going, everybody? It's Rich from Ragiroth Enterprises here. My first Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite video in a pretty long time. Guess there just wasn't really much to talk about until now. So, Black Panther, Sigma, and Monster Hunter just came out, and I'm going to talk about each one of them. I played as each one of them, went through arcade mode with each one of them, did training mode, blah, blah, blah. Here's my impressions of them. Think like, the Injustice 2 videos and like the Jubei one for Blaze Blue. First, I'm going to do a video is going to be split into 3 parts, one for Black Panther, one for Sigma, and one for Monster Hunter. First, we're going to do Monster. We're going to do Black Panther. Black Panther was always a character that I never knew that well, but I would always see here and there, and I was always like, I really want to see more of him. He's really cool. Sort of improved recently, with him being in the movies and all that. I think 90% of us could probably agree that he should have just been in the base roster, with how much Marvel is pushing him and how much more popular he is now. I mean, he was in Civil War, for Christ's sakes, and he was considered one of the best parts about it, and that was DLC. I think that would have made the base roster look a lot better to most people. It would have been another new character, and would have been someone that people really wanted. But it's what, we're here now, he's out now, we're here, so it's like, what are you gonna do? So, I'd have to say, not only is he probably my favorite DLC character so far, however, I think he's one of my favorite characters in the games. Yeah, it is partially because I really wanted him and I really like him. He would have probably been in the upper middle of my top 10 new characters I want for MvC list I made some time back, but we knew he was going to be DLC then, so that didn't need to be the case. But even aside from that, I actually think he's just really fun to play as, and I'm pretty good with him. He's just really fast and can get around everywhere. And I like that he kind of has, I guess, Rekkas. I think I'm using the term right. Where you do one special move, then you do another button, and then you'll do another attack. You do another attack. It's like a continuous thing. I like that he has that. That's really cool. I don't know. He's just really easy to get in hits with. His moveset's just pretty cool. He uses all these claws and acrobatic moves. Just really fun to watch. I'd say he does decent damage. Nothing spectacular. He's probably one of the fastest characters in the game. I think it's probably his biggest fault, at least from what I can tell. Again, I'm not a competitive person. I only know the main basics. Is that his health is like garbage. Like, for a guy that has a vibranium outfit, he sure can't take hits that well. But I understand why. He's like a fast, speedy character, and they usually don't have the best health. I guess one nitpick, I guess it's a little more than a nitpick that I had with his moveset is I know Black Panther. I'm pretty sure he uses he's been known to use a sword and like kind of shurikens or throwing daggers, something like that, and he doesn't really have any of that. And I know I've played like Marvel Ultimate Alliance where he has stuff like that, and I was a little disappointed, that his moveset is just like claws, 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 acrobatics, acrobatics, acrobatics. That was a bit disappointing. It's really the only thing that kind of sucks about him, but even then, it doesn't really ruin it for me. He's still fun to play as. He's still really cool moveset. And then the other thing is, a lot of people think that he's the function of Wolverine. He's taking Wolverine's spot, and honestly, he doesn't play a damn thing like Wolverine. So stop with that. Like, I know, look, I'm pissed off about a lot of stuff with the game, like a lot of people are, but let's not make big deals out of things that aren't even a big deal. He's not a clone of Wolverine. Does he use a similar theme? Yes, he is a agile, I guess, animal-based character, if you want to call him that uses claws. Yes, but he plays nothing like him. Him having like the Rekka type moves or something, from what I remember, Wolverine does not have at all. Wolverine was very straightforward. Black Panther is not. If anything, he might play a bit like X-23, Wolverine's clone, funnily enough, from Marvel vs. Capcom 3. But even then, it's not very many differences, many similarities. I think there's like 1 or 2 moves that he does that reminds me of like X-23. But I would say there's more. I don't think people are as pissed at her not being in the game as they are Wolverine, as cool as X-23 is. But I think that's it for Black Panther. I'd say he's definitely, as of now, one of my mains. Probably him and like Jeddah and Ghost Rider. Probably more so Black Panther than Ghost Rider, just because he's a little more fresh and new. I definitely recommend checking him out. I feel like, you know, even if he doesn't play like Wolverine or X-23, it will sort of fill that void, at least for now, of them not being in the game. I think also the other thing is, I'm kind of, to be honest, I'm a little more of a Black Panther fan than I am a Wolverine or X-23 fan. I guess it's partially because I feel like you see Wolverine everywhere, and Black Panther is like just now becoming kind of relevant. But anyway, alright, so moving on to Sigma. Alright, so now with Sigma, just basically ditto for Black Panther, for I think 90% of us kind of think he should have just been in the base game. Now, it's a little bit of a different circumstance. Sigma, I mean, he's a popular, I guess he was kind of requested. Probably not nowhere near as Black Panther was, though. However, you know, he's basically half of the main villain of the game, and the one half, Ultron, was already playable in the base game, so it's like, why do you not just have Sigma be playable as well? I think it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I mean, I'm a little more of an Ultron fan than I'm Sigma, but Sigma is still very cool. He's never been playable in anything. You know, just because of that, he should have been in the base roster. I think if, you know, if the whole Ultron Sigma wasn't a thing, I think it would have been a little more reasonable to not expect him in the base roster, just because he's sort of, I guess, kind of obscure now, just because of how irrelevant, unfortunately, the X series is. Sigma wasn't really someone I was like dying for to be in the game, but he is still a very cool character and is a very nice surprise, and it's someone, like I said, that has never been playable before. And you know, Mega Man X is probably my favorite Mega Man series, and I feel like it doesn't really get enough love, and I definitely appreciate Capcom, like, giving, like, the whole, like, not, you know, making 3 Mega Man characters and all of them are from X. Like, yeah, I'm a little more of a base or basey XE fan than I am Sigma, but I am okay with, you know, I'm fine with it. It's great. You know, Sigma's really cool. And the funny thing is, I feel like he sort of feels like a giant, like, boss version of Zero, and, like, you know, more slower and powerful version of him, which I like. You know, he still uses the Z-Saber, and he does have some, I'll be honest, I love the X games. However, I suck at Mega Man games, so I've never beaten them. So I've never actually fought Sigma before in any game, so I apologize if I'm kind of unfamiliar with what his moves are. But I do really like his moveset. He is a bigger, slower character, and he is a lot of physical moves, and but also some far range moves. He's not really a zoner. I don't really know what the hell. I don't know what the hell he is. Because he can do this thing with some of his sword slashes where he basically makes a rend in time and space, which I did not fucking know he could do that. And it kind of leaves a residue of blast over time, we'll just use that word, that can hurt the other characters. And that's sort of, I guess he's sort of like a, you know what? He, to me, seems very mid-range focused. He's not really like far away, but he's definitely not a rush down like, you know, Black Panther, for instance. But I really like his moveset. It's pretty cool. And I think I was pretty good with him. You know, I think I'm kind of hit or miss with the bigger, slower guys, but I think I think Sigma is, you know, definitely one in the more better of them, for me at least. I mean, really, my only complaint with his moveset is my favorite version of him is probably from X4, you know, the Grim Reaper one, and unfortunately he doesn't have any moves from that game, which kind of sucks, but I guess it is one of the more radically different versions of Sigma, so I guess I can kind of understand. I like his alternate outfit, and the same with Black Panthers as well. Yeah, I probably prefer his over his default outfit. Black Panther, I think I prefer his default outfit over the other outfit, though. Not that the alternate one's bad, I just like the more simple black outfit that Black Panther has. Why can't either of them keep their capes on? I don't understand that. That is one thing that kind of bothers me. But no, I would say Sigma is very mid-range focused. Definitely a slower, more heavier character, but not like the slowest or heaviest. He's kind of like Thanos in a way, I guess. But I think that's all I have to say for Sigma. Oh, I do like his theme, by the way. I know it's a remix. Everything is X2 theme, if I remember correctly. It sounds pretty cool to me, at least. So I think that's it for Sigma. I don't think he's like a main like Black Panther is, but I think he is a character I would use like fairly often. Like I guess middle of a main and a silk character. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, on to Monster Hunter. Alright, so for the final one, we got Monster Hunter. Ironically, Monster Hunter was the last of the DLC characters to be officially revealed, but the first one to get a gameplay trailer, interestingly enough. Now, I'm just going to be honest, Monster Hunter is probably my least favorite of the DLC characters. Part of it is because I've never really had a connection to Monster Hunter. I never thought it was a bad game. It's just not, I just couldn't get into it. And I think it doesn't really help that Capcom, you know, they make a lot of those games, and I feel like they ignore a lot of their other series. I guess it kind of, you know, it sort of rubbed me the wrong way. You know, it's kind of shoving it down our throats. And, you know, there's a ton of other classic series that they refuse to make new games with. However, it's not really fair to me to take out my bias against the game series or Capcom on the Monster Hunter herself. Even though she's my least favorite of the DLC characters, she's still very cool, and I do like her. She's not probably someone I would like main or use as much as say someone like Sigma, but she's probably a character I'd use here and there. She does kind of have a bunch of different weapons, sort of like Dante, probably not as much as Dante. I'll be honest, I couldn't entirely figure her out totally. She's also probably the most complicated of the 3 DLC characters to use. She has like some fast moves and some slow moves. She's not really, I guess, as black or white as say Sigma or Black Panther is in terms of speed. But like her slow moves, oh my god. They are like the slowest fucking moves in the game, and they will leave you super open. However, I guess the plus side was that is they, obviously, those moves hit like a fucking truck, and some of them kind of give you a brick wall effect, which helps. Her moveset is pretty cool. You know, like I said, I've never really had a connection with Monster Hunter, so I'm not entirely sure how accurate it is. I think from what I've seen of Monster Hunter, it looks pretty accurate. I think it's cool that she uses all these different weapons. Obviously not as cool as Dante. Not much else I really have to say about her, because she's the one I kind of understood the least. I know she can access something called Demon Mode, which I think I noticed after you use one of her hyper combos, she has this like glowing red aura, but I couldn't really figure out the different moves you could do. Her bow and arrow moves are pretty nasty, especially the hyper combo one. You know how many times that friggin' like finished the match off for me, because I just got them trapped in a barrage of arrows, and I just like wailed on them as they were getting hit by the arrows. But yeah, she is an alternate costume. Hers is pretty cool. You know, I guess I like the armor of the default better, but I like the hair and stuff more in the alternate outfit. It would have been nice if they kind of did what like Smash Brothers did, and for like avatar characters like Monster Hunter, they let you choose between male or female. I don't really, you know, mind playing the female one. I think it would have just been a nice touch, but I know Capcom is not quite as good with that as like, you know, Sora or Nintendo is with like a game like Smash Brothers. But yeah, like I said, I don't really know what much more to say with her. She's kind of a much more trickier character to use than the other two. Like for me personally, my least favorite, but still a cool character. I still recommend checking her out. I know Monster Hunter has a lot of fans. That's why they keep making the damn games. So I mean, I'm sure some Monster Hunter fans will definitely appreciate her in the game if they even are interested in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, though. I tried. Like I said before, I'm not really a competitive person. However, I did. Obviously, I always do training mode when I try out new characters, and I did try to do a couple of the missions in the mission mode to get some of the combos down for some of the characters, and I tried using some of them, tried remembering them, and of course trying to make them my own. But obviously, I'm not really like someone that can remember all these long combos. I apologize. I wish I was, but I'm not. I think that's about it. I guess. I know I haven't talked much about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite since I think that trailer showed like Ghost Rider and the Demon guys. I don't know if I was going to do a review on it. I guess I'll do a little, maybe quick, my thoughts on it. Because I know it hasn't been doing too well. Put it that way. Not nearly as good as like 3 did, or at least 2. But I mean, I like the game. I just don't really love it. I think it's fun. The roster, I think, is okay. I think it's becoming, better. I am thrilled that Venom is going to be DLC, by the way, especially with Winter Soldier. I'll probably do a reaction video to when they're revealed. Not sure how I feel about Black Widow. It kind of rubs me the wrong way that there's 4 Marvel characters, only 2 Capcom characters in the DLC. I don't know why they're not doing it even. And I'll hate Black Widow, but she's not someone I'm like thrilled about. But no, I think the game is fun, and like, all right, the graphics aren't the best. I think it's more so the aesthetics that are bad and not the graphics. I'm not really a graphic snob though, to be honest. Like, okay, yeah, I'm not saying, it's okay if they're like stick figures. No, but I mean, it's reasonable enough. I liked how 3 looked better. But I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. Like, yeah, I know the faces, but it's a fighting game. I don't get to see the faces that much. I beat the story mode last night. I don't think the story mode's as bad as people are saying. It's really not even. I don't even think it was bad. I enjoyed it. It just, suffers from being typical fighting game story mode, where it's very linear, and once you do it, there's really not much of a reason to go back to it. And of course, one of my biggest pet peeves is you can't fucking get to play as everybody you want in the story mode. And of course, some of my favorite characters are never playable in it. Go fucking figure. I think probably my biggest issue with it is I just wish there was more to do. I'm not going to harp on it because, if any of you see my videos, you know that I like, having single player content, especially in the videos I did with Mark Unart, where we talk about, our issue with, current fighting games, kind of just focusing way too much on online and all that. And Capcom is fucking notorious for it. They're probably the biggest offenders. I don't know why. They're just very anti-single player, and I appreciate them putting in a single player mode, like story mode. But as I've said before, I'd rather just have a bunch of other modes and stuff to do than some one long cinematic story mode that there's just not really much to do after you go through it once. And yeah, there's an arcade mode, but of course, no fucking arcade endings. It's like they play the meanest game of Corrupt-A-Wish. You have an arcade and story mode, but you gotta lose arcade endings. And there's just not much to unlock or do aside from that. And I really hope maybe then, they'll add more stuff like Street Fighter V is doing and all that in the future. I don't know if they will, because it's like, this game also relies on another company, Marvel, and, if they're not impressed with what the game's done, they might, just drop it. I hope that's not the case, though, and I hope they keep adding to it. And I think the roster is getting better. It could be better. I don't think it's as bad as people are saying. I think it could be better, but it could be worse as well. Venom and Winter Soldier coming definitely helps me personally like the roster a lot more. Yeah, I don't think it deserves as much hate as it should get. It's definitely kind of a disappointment, but it's also not quite as, bad as people are saying. Like I said, I like the game, I just don't love it. So I think that's it for this video. The next one I'll probably, I definitely want to try to do a reaction video to when they show off Winter Soldier and Venom. I don't know if it's going to be like those two and Black Widow in a video together, or like we'll get one and then a video with two others later. Like I said, I don't know, but I guess whatever has Venom and Winter Soldier in it, I'll do a reaction video to it. Black Widow, I don't think warrants a reaction video, to be honest. No offense to her. So, yeah, don't forget to check out Mark Unart in the description below. And as I always say, another time, another place, keep being awesome.